This is Boadu TV. Truth and integrity.
Mamra ni adwuma emfa ho ni nipa no ne kese a oye ne keto a oye anatebia owom anasika owo anahia ni owo that to me is a crocodile tear and I could that be true and I don't because and no will not prove anything to Ghanaians. I say your forest reserves I say and years will never forget even if
these people are criminals and they should be talking to us. Measures are being prosecuted these individuals.
Because kakra ekoso no. Ai we dey entity ho ya tete ho apone ho dia ma yema akwaba. Enfambra Boadu TV so. First time I say best mo subscribe. Na mo like video afi mo nya mo comment so to comment section mai. Emepem no na afi ma share e dey amame. Na and the minister wept. Aye. Imano Armah Buah akosu. Na nusu nsu ye nyina ya contaminate. Yesese na wesi ase western region the rade. Ko hwe. Widu wenye bia hwe. Wa se western region poto. Energy beach rese. Sa su na wusu no de crocodile tears so. Sa su na wusu no. Untimi fa me. Chese untimi fa me dada yo. Yenya nkwala na odi se su na bedada yen. Nti usu nti den debi o nti usuye no na asase no eso kataye na ena nua no besisi ho na bibia ye kama won hwe ya to aba ma won se bra na be chiche won ma modi o ma ni sika bra na o matu galamsey betu o msesa ya nto aba ma se bra na besu eti onya esu no na wonya adwuma no ne de no ho nso na yinsu aka to no Ivan innocent nso aka to wo se onya esu nsu ne de emfa hwemma onya kwala na wesu onya esu na wonya adwuma sanse de power ni nyina ahye nsa se obetimi prosecute obi as lands minister so chise nipa no etu galamsey se o mayen sase na eja akono so no bigidi se wontumi kura de wontumi oh ana ji so dwane fi o mem
Kofi Armah Buah Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. Se Ghana for na ha ne passe krono doso ne yetimi nti krofo bia na chese ye dunu ye ho de yesre ana yesre because ye se krono doso ana amanfo bo krono na amanfo bo krono ba yetimi nti krofo ba ku sempo whatever you came to do at your press conference yesterday to me do not hold any water. No, you are so beard so. To me, who said something union house in the Why did you cry? For what? Because they are laid down procedures. They are laid down rules and regulations. They are laid down every single thing that you need to go through to make sure say. Even if there's a need for amendments, you take it to the floor of Parliament, the procedures will have to follow. Now, if you're much more amending, Brano. But for you to watch a simple documentary and start sharing tears, crocodile tears. Boy. What's that? They told any. And when you feel an intem. Because it's an open secret. Our God, how do we say? Yes, sir, I say, your forest reserves, I say. And of course, Ghana for United, that's just say. A time came, and when the Catholic Bishop Conference, I think that was that June. I think that was June, around June. Catholic Bishop Conference, our International Conference Center. His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo stood on the podium and said, say, as at the time, Okasano, Akota mining was not involved in the illegal mining. Memoir. As at that time, Okasano, Akota mining was not involved in any illegal activity. So before that time, What was Akweta Mani doing? Emma, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, led by Abu Jinapo, wrote a letter, and there was a counter letter to it. So Akweta mining was involved in an illegal activity, illegal mining. But the President of the Republic of Ghana said, as at that time. So who Boadu, who were your friend that investigating that issue? When the President had said, as at that time, he wasn't interested or he wasn't engaged in any illegalities. Also, yes, institution, but don't check it in. Okay, investigate today. What are you going to investigate? Because the President of the land, who has the sole responsibility to also make sure, say, I'm running there to tell the mayor, or do not say, Akweta Mani wasn't involved in the illegality. It's a way of right. Who police CID? Some brothers, and yes, I know him. Yeah? We don't want to see what we saw yesterday. Honorable Kofi Armah, please, with all due respect to you, with the greatest of humility to your office, we do not want to see what we saw yesterday, if indeed you were shedding tears. That to me is a crocodile tear. And I could that be true and another issue because I don't know will not prove anything to Ghanaians. I don't know will not add any volume to Ghanaians. I don't know will not bring our lands back. But if so be your body, no, I am body the tear nature. I am body the tear so dear say, I am body the tear gather and brand new hormone and any because we are yes soon. And I am Bobby's or Bobby's son. That a month one day be a do tell me that as a more that a man or quadra the thing that the call who say ya, the thing that the call say ya, not that I'm saying ya. No, come on, your first Abu. Your first Yamamu. The relatives still holds that if some running the honorable, that's someone putting all the legal procedures. Number say Akweta mining, Akwesaya forest reserves. I don't need to be cut. What was I just saying? Now listen to this. Here, as of 2022, there was a letter at the Minerals Commission at the Akweta mining. And it indicates solely, say, Emra, I friend Emra, or money so. And what I would just want you to publish that particular letter for me. Now, kind of for you now who say that is exactly the truth we are talking about. It is not about some fallacious comments and I say fallacy be and I say possible kebi and I juma. No. When the Mineral Commission speaks, it speaks a lot of volume. It says that something that is factual. Because the Minerals Commission is a state-owned institution that ever sadema way to be cost ye. Now, the Mineral Commission says in 2022 said none of the above lease. Now listen to me carefully. Very, very carefully. What did I wish is that you publish this particular letter? Oh, we are about our video. The Mineral Commission says that none of the above leases, so there were previous ones are attached to this very particular letter, yet to be cut because of time. Falls within the Tano Numuri Forest Reserves or any forest reserves for that matter. Thank you very much, Medasi. Now, it goes on to say, the letter from the Forestry Commissions and its Minerals Commission dated 8 August 2022 and 7 September 2022, which are being circulated alongside the lease granted in 2021, have no bearing on the above set out leases. As indicated by the ministry's press conference or press statement, dated 10th September 2022, Akweta mining TA. And this is the point of order. So you do not go there and cry to Ghanaians as if say, some brothers I say, yeah, baby said they were horrible. As indicated by the ministry's press statement dated on the 10th of September 2022, Akwanta Mining has a pending application dated 25th August 2022 for a mining lease over an area within the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserves. That application has not been determined by the minister, who is mandated by law to grant or refuse such application. And for the avoidance of doubt, Akwanta Mining has no mining lease, mineral rights, and or permit to undertake any mining operations in the Tano Forest Reserves. And steps are currently being undertaken to enforce the minister's directive issued on the 30th of September 2022. So what are you people talking about? If indeed this letter is coming from the Minerals Commission, then what are you talking about? Hey, Chairman, please. Chairman, Ghana is a very serious business entity. Ghana is a very serious business. Hey, Chairman, please, with the greatest of respect to you, this is not what we want. Take action, because you see, yes, say, your forest reserves are saying, yes, what say, one here. That's a there was a ocean documentary. Now the documentary is the meaning and also taking advantage of our system. You sit there and you cry to Ghanaians and say, what? Say, maybe I Ghana. No! Mamambra Enyejuma. If indeed Akwanta Mining have violated the laws of our land, you know the owner of Akwanta Mining, who is Armah Buah to me, wouldn't him know. I tell us so there, stop sharing crocodile tears. Or perhaps you are trying to tell me, sir, and some of your crab was so horrible, and some of you do share was that. Yeah? Now, okay, Ghana Constitution, it is the president and I did Ghana, your minerals laws, your dear shadows, as a good yemi was suase. I was slow, I was so, and assassin, but big beer. You find a natural mineral resource. It is vested in the hands of the president in trust of Ghanaians. And the president has the sole obligation to appoint somebody to also take charge of that very particular ministry. It is the president, by virtue of the power, to be a God of what the amano. No, be ye honorable Kofi Amabu say, Brabeye Bibia, make catch me some press conference as in a Usu. Usu says, some brothers, all my Munia and house in the U. Mama Ghana 13 years because in the abundance of water, the fool will be thirsty. In Sua Chaya Westia, tell me, just give me one typical example of Sua. Papa. But those days, we could go to the riverside, yet the examples for the one near Sania, because who near what I was when I say. But then there, what else I didn't be? Just because of mining activities. Maybe the Mabusia, yet we could cross through a mamenum. Yet this guy never cross through the Abamenum. But then we are only a Busia there. Sikana muonti isokra enyamona. It does not mean so you should subject Ghanaians to that level of poverty when you know the root cause of the issue. So would Madiana men yet to send your seven brothers as a ye dada ya hubi as a diano ye by pase kata so ye katasumo mwasro subembi na se betie as a no Ghanaians do not want that. Second, Sankwa dear. Na Kagana for Uncle Santos, a quack to a bar, and your man Pahini, and a Nembrasha before. Because Ghana for to Santale, I got to a bar, not for anything, but for change and for good governance. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, with the greatest of respect to you, you know Ghanaians love you so much. You've become an angel to the entire Ghanaian population. Very soon, Ubahito 120 days promise. Which of course we know say you've executed more than almost all the promises you made. But the truth is that, hey, action that needs to be taken by your office has not been taken. But this time, some brother say, Nanka say, Dabio, Tobo, Tie, Nanka Oti Wado say, my inviting Kedoforiata say, Omra na ye misa no questions, na Kedoforiata say, Oyeda da Benti, or say, or Yarinti, time or pe, and or the Magana, Jesus Christ. Say, or say, or no, or the Yarim Paso, and say, Otimi ma. Into no time or pay and what the best Ghana for say any time we draw member nama make myself available for any interrogation. Meanwhile, I'm ready before I'm the work of court. Hey, what can you say? Very simple logic. What can you say? I been quiet. You know the same cracker. I be fault him. Aban kwai ye num ne sade ye num krakra because on try be fa otrim ana so hu ne say owoba ye ne ni agosa sonsono because on kawa and the same poison and the opposite. Ghana do not have the luxury of time to be waiting for these gimmicks that be. And I said, the quality way, I said, you know, I said, the court, I said, for them, I said, no, Ghanaians do not want that. Ghana for your person. Even the NPP people, I even asked why some of the people are still in government, are still heading institutions. How much more the NDC? His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, NPP before the BBC said, I don't think the FDA. Obuni pada sotio ada VRA obuni pada sotio ada the Ghana Airport Authority ada obuni pada sotio ada the various institutions obuni pada sotio no. Whilst you have the competent people to manage the affairs of your own institutions, they asking them. So even if the NPP are asking you as a government, you know, in power, what is preventing you? Meanwhile, competent people who also contributed to the success of your campaign, to the success of your to this election, are still marking time at home, not getting the work to do. Yeah, do some of the air coffee. Do some of the air coffee. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, have you asked yourself why? It don't tell me, can you make me a so that 8 minutes at a certain point in time? I am not saying you say Engineer Samoa is a bad CEO, but maybe he did not share your same ideology. I know Engineer Samoa when he was in the Ashanti region. Very fantastic man, very fantastic engineer. Now he is the head of ECG. But the fact is that Nipa, a person making sure say, what about to be a general wedding year? No, Sandy Pacrono, yeah, bro. Don't you have the men? Don't you have engineers within your own party? His Excellency, don't you have the men or engineers within your own party? When you go to VRA, don't you have competent people who are well qualified and experienced enough to head VRA? So the moment they do like to pay, yes, I have the doom swabber. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? See a doom like to pay, say, hey, Mahama Sabe. Hey, Mahama Sabe, hey, please, with all due respect to you, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Ghanaians do not vote for you to come and do this kind of way. No, that be. Ghana for say, yeah, one conform, horrible, one by one, everyone to be about power. Almost one qualification, almost one competent well enough. I bet to be head of every institution. Please allow them and give them that opportunity to work. That always said some of them. Our appointees may be starting here and their hand tie and was one day was them later. Later Becca was them. Because some of your appointees in the order while Jana Dosso Dodo, Ahomaswana Dosso Dodo, but then the Becca was them later. Later Becca was them. The truth still remains. Sir, yeah, Mamua. You first some a kofua. I want to work as our concepts. The ideology and the power of our person the pushing Ghana. There is all for the boy mine. Hey, now for us if one that's almost to our day. No. And we have other lists. I mean, we are going to publish them very soon. Your own people are not getting job to do. Now, you see, the effect is that you have subjected some of your own people to ridicule. I'm going to be paid because they know the community in which they live in, the society in which they live in, and the past of when we end this before, they contributed so hard, they sacrificed their lives and they are competent enough. But see, I'm going to be in a position here. It's going to be paid. I'm going to be say, hey, now one party pony. Or party in a position. Come on, I don't want to mention names. You can't say body brain. Body. But the interest is that if your people are well competent enough, if they are well experienced enough, allow them to also work. Forget about whatever it is. Then finally, here, the NPP in the Ashanti region, it is for your own good. Say you can't beat that young man called Dr. Frank Buah Chairman. So join him. When that old man ever so as a regional minister, we also saw what happened. We also saw what he did. And when the change came, and that young man came to the seat as a regional minister, he said, look, whether you like it or not, Dr. Frank Buah Chairman is reigning. Dr. Frank Buah Chairman has brought Ashanti back to its track. Dr. Frank Buah Chairman is making Ashanti region look more attractive. Hey, bleeding is allowed. You can bleed for all we care. Dr. Frank Buah Chairman is doing a fantastic job. And your crowd for 8 good years, we never saw anything like Ashanti First. Even your own hometown. Bosom J. No, how many people knew that there's Lake Bosom J or one? It can be used for a commercial purpose to drive some kind of attention. And as a tourist site, how many people knew about that? But that young man called Dr. Frank Buah Chairman. Up had the Huachi. Say, led a team of competent people to initiate a project called Ashanti First. For them to know your own constituency, your own hometown, the kind of natural resource, the kind of resource they want to driving that tourist attraction. And you are there saying what? What's what I can? What's what I'm wearing? What is social media I'm working as? The FPP in Ashanti region, please. You can't beat that young man. Please join him to build Ashanti region, to make Ashanti region much more attractive than what you came to do. The seat of His Royal Majesty Otu is a very attractive area, a very romantic area, and of course, it deserves better than what we are seeing now. And I am happy. So there's a certain Dr. Frank Buah Chairman who is the regional minister. There's a certain mayor who is Zuba. These are serious combinations. These are serious mind people. As we travel someone here, they will make the place more attractive. Your criticism should be constructive. Nobody says that do not criticize. It should be more constructive. But it shouldn't be so negative to the point that as a anyhow, and a former regional minister, school feeding caterers, echo the Honoma, Otto told sir, and did your matter Mugoye. Yeah, anyhow, yeah, where you don't hear. Tell me, please, with all due respect, tell me, give me one single project. It was initiated by the former regional minister. Out to me, yeah, starting year over year. Tell me, let's be real. Ashanti region deserves better. And governors, ayan tuaswa juma. Anya bako for juma. Zesia tuaswa niya ye juma niya ye ni ye dia. It is not about one personal, somebody's personal interest. No way. Come on. Come on. Let us, for once, you're putting the political differences aside. You're making sure that we are driving attention. And there's one person I demand from the New Patriotic Party who is so knowledgeable enough. Ayakana Topoku, CID, former East or West, DC. He was part and parcel of the Ashanti Fest, devoid of his political color. He made sure that Obeka Humbi contributed the quota to the Ashanti Fest. It has not made him some in quotes. Sir, he's something else. No, come on. But he's contributing his quota to the good people of Ashanti region because he's also from Ashanti region. The fact is that Unia Bemu now be ya the papabi. Nasa even though I don't know you say who said to my Toby wa home and I bet me that you are free to do that because criticism is allowed. You are not living in a banana republic. It is all criticize, that's a constructive criticism. That's all the need to 2 years. If you know, the more now you know, party is becoming more unattractive. But a new pono, ya to a belgier. Ya to a belgier. And to be should not be geared towards the next election. It should be geared towards the development of the region and the development of the entire country. Go to Western region and see. Go to Western region and see. The Western North, the Western region, go to BA, go to Ahafo, go to Burum East, and all these regions. This place heavily underdeveloped. Go to the heart, the center of Ghana. More the center of Ghana, the kind of development around the center of Ghana. More the center of Ghana. Accra is not the center of Ghana. Muina Munim. More the center of Ghana. More development across the center of Ghana. There's nothing there. Nothing. We need serious minds to be able to develop that place for serious business. Not political party. Not to build a political party. They are a political party. You started in 1992. I started Yama yourself. His Excellency, the late Jerry John Rawlings, John Ajaku Kufuor, and of course, Atabe Sabaye, John Dramani Mahama, and friends said, another Dagwa Kufuado, and now John Dramani Mahama Baye, if I saw Benny and your friend on your simu. Nothing. In any case, the legacies of Dr. Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah still lives on. And now, my father motorway that me says papa na ajimu do onimiasa pa. Motorway now building about 40-50 years ago. The motorway is still functioning. How many of your roads? Akwani do say na mo ye so adwuma sisi ya. Akwani bi wo hono mo a antimi last for even one year. What are you people telling us? What can say Ghana for 7 predecessor? You did hear no kwai. And I say adwuma ha. No. Ghanaians are very discerning. Ghanaians are very knowledgeable, but we will watch it closely because we are slow to anger. Go to the center of our country, that is Kintampo, and go and see the development there. Children are sitting under trees in the school and trying to form their school just because there's a political will be of you say, me the kitapo for 2 about family. I will not develop kitapo. That is madness. That is madness. There's nothing. But yeah, at the center of Ghana, I work kitapo no. Which is highly and extremely unacceptable. It should be, oh, I wish I could go with her. Yeah? Compare the center of the world. Also, the Greenwich Meridian line, you can follow a similar one. Never compare Diana at the center of Ghana. Nema, the differences between the two. People go there, pay money to observe and to watch what is happening there. Yeah, the night is Abusufie. Okoroma the Ghana flags be and the anti says me a confofie. No, it is not acceptable. Hey! And you think that this has to do with politics? No way. Come on. We have gone far beyond politics. We have gone far beyond this. Let us allow ourselves. Say that you are home, even be a dream, even be a tears anywhere. Near to be a more mind to be a codenim than your political interest. In any case, political parties more than that way. Say not to a baby here. The president of the republic ceases to be a political figure. He is the father of the nation. The regional minister ceases to be a political figure. He is the father of that region. The MP ceases to be a political figure. He is the father of the constituency. The DCE ceases to be a political figure because he's the father of the districts. So what are you people talking about? So what are you people talking about? Mommy and co baby. You're driving your attention and our energy to baby. I bet to be there for so papa be for so dear be dear Ghana. And if I were, say yeah, me pay the more crowd will say there's what I was going to do. Look, I would drive every single attention to Kintampo. Because Kintampo is the heart of the country. Kintampo is the heart of Ghana. Moko Kintampo, I'm going to a pay and the Kintampo. I got to do it to me here. I to me apply in Vinco for 30 pay 30. And you better Kintampo. Said one whether private or public sector, it's before for 30 per. We the district assembly ni free order one. And you baby. I don't sorry no pa. I don't 222 near ya to something the chambers manaba be fire no the akwaduma. And you better work it up what is that. And as I speak with you now, there are children who are still schooling under trees and working temple. And you think that is funny? You think that is you should not go beyond politics? So if politics is that good, if politics is the interest to serve the interest of the people, then why are we subjecting ourselves to this pain? With all due respect, the laws are in your hands. The laws are within your comfort zone. The laws are in your hands. Please take advantage of the law and execute the law accordingly. That's all. And right now, you did it to me. As a minister, Samrano on the crowd. Every single appropriate measure be so good to be and I said, and never be a person here piano. Samrano Kutao. Do try them. Mamrani Yajuma. And found in the pano, the Kessia oye, the Ketra oye, and a Tibia womb, and a Sika or and a Hieni or Mumamrano, and in Yajuma.
A year a buying at an year. Under the MPP, was the headquarters of Galamsey. And Galamsey is over here a free for all enterprise for any and every member of the MPP. And near Master Abai Papa, here Papa His Excellency the President, were waging a relentless war against Galamsey. Na JB, a penny say Saponcheni Wua, and I want it.
Sure.
Sanka NDC abaya makunyamwa anka akonta mine na ye Chairman Wontumi de anka there is no way they will face accountability. There is no way they will be caught and arrested a choir and only few days ago, you chill.
Are they involved in illegal mining?
Of course. In fact, in 2022, the media coalition against galamsey, as led by Dr. Kenashibe, the CID at the Office of Special Prosecutor
and lawyer Martin Pebu.
Say Akunta Mining is engaging in galamsey.
I see.
Sa allegation by no investigation in po and then President Kufuor on 4th January 2023 be clear Akunta Mining. And ne Ghana ha why name say Akunta Mining omo ye galamsey. In fact, ye chill on Tano Nimri Forest no. They don't have a mining lease yes omo koye mining wo. And to know who so ye dey. Excavators over 31 na ye chiye no. Na e was asase no so ye dey dey. Enti under MPP et said the professor from Paul Boateng kan no. And it said the Titus Glover, former Greater Accra Regional Minister, Kennedy Japan, and seasoned MPP in penny for about because na a MPP are buying no more penny for and a galamsey no more ye.
So, Doctor, what are you guys waiting?
So, what we are doing is, Yasha say, say, dozens of people have been arrested. Yet, you do mujama, quite so. Galamsey so the excavator it is in the custody of Ghana Police Service. It will not happen to say they see and the MPP. Excavators and we must tackle the issue head on. And I'm a body defense minister, Dr. Armah Buah Chairman, the lands minister, the interior minister, Omar Kambum, and Nasan Tokoya Yeko against Galamsey. MPP for share that they say Mebuno Amu Boasene Takwa. Say mabunu na eye one penny for na eye mabunu bia na obetimi ato excavator 31 obi owo sky dey to excavator 31 on be galamsey say asema me count here.
Yeah, sure.
Eye aban mu penny fo akese a na omo ye MPP for na eye sa galamsey no.
But I'm not sure we've ever heard say abayachi galamsey is for be legal miners for be a prosecution man or the work could not send DBA man. You started come if you have any of them.
Yes, of course, there is no doubt. Maybe both various forest reserves are.
No, for the forest reserves, they said now I said that. And
yes,
where did you that? But so who are the notable names we are looking at?
Some of them are not politicians, and
no problem. We are interested.
But on 23rd February 2025, okay, evaluate Ajomorojira. Yet nipa 15 many okasei omuomua ye arrange obo for court.
Are they still in police custody?
Oh yes. Oko on 5th March 2025 Upper West Regional Security Council omo arrested nipa 73 in the Tilly Forest. Omujina emrenim 11th March yet nipa 12 Tano Anya Forest. 13th March yet about 8 people in the Subri Forest. Met me on and on and on 14th March. Yechi nipa bebre sa in the Bosome Frehun district. No more yet illegal mining. Yachi omachi omogalams omu excavators ne chamfan omo de adwuma. That is how galamsey is being fought. Of course, there are a lot of Ghanaians omojidi say a slow pay, but the point is that sa galamsey akoso in the last I'm talking about deeply seated mechanized galamsey omo use excavators akese over 30 more 50 no akoso over 8 years and not from say within this short time. If you want to be honest to the people baby Ghana policy, we must be honest. Adena koso over 8 years. In fact, a juma excavator baku betimi in 1 day, you will be shocked. I mean, no can say TV3 premises excavator betimi 30 minutes and imagine say obi wo excavator 51 no jina so the damage those excavators will cause no, you will be shocked. But President Mahama also one buying all politically exposed persons from engaging in mining when you galamsey mining who mining so we are buying money pa now
all politically exposed persons.
Number 2 also mining in forest reserves were cheap, mining in river bodies were cheap. These are far-reaching measures are abandoning ye. Ya launch river gata. Omo ye babuno omo do nature omo do nsuo omo ye whistle blowers they are liaising with naval units of Ghana Armed Forces said they are omo suspicious activities via as far as galamsey is concerned they report it. There are many measures are being taken. As I sit here, Ghana for me shamabo be rest assured say for the first time in the history of Ghana aban bi aba ye ku galamsey now yes akonta mining apart from omwankasa excavators ni machines e wa asase so a eye galamsey no omo san twa forest reserves a nyomo de esa aton enti forest reserve won chen no makoton ama obi 300,000 Ghana cedis 3 billion no omo san je ehun kickback oti ase ye free charters just omo ton asase na enkrofo no eye galamsey wo so no na every week bia omo san je omo sika $3 billion, $20,000.
It's my establishment.
Because almost say almost 250 grams of gold from Nippon on the assassination. 250 grams of gold, $20,000 or $21,000. Into on the money partner every week will make it $200,000.
Dr. Buame, so far, no, are they facing prosecution or they have just been arrested?
This week you will see say you do mujina emrenima.
That be this week.
Of course. And the government is doing something. All we need from the people of Ghana, they are here from Ghana for more support, more encouragement. And no minister umuno.
Yeah.
Na support ehnino. Now also because even though now we knew say galamsey as a crew. But the extent of damage ya cause Ghana no minister no na ne raho. But this is a minister wa born a humodinya oni other sector ministers akaboma omo crack it down on illegal mining.
I see.
What did they make an say? Because over the last 8 years the level of destruction caused so mining leases a diamancophobia. Evidence available said because they had leanings to MPP in Romania we know. Omo de adwin bone na yedwuma no. Omo ko gina so hu no metu. In fact, last week na me Western region. Ankobra River no, ebi mo blocking no. That is how wicked people can actually be. Ankobra River no, you are blocking on na inso na ba slowly no mo de wash. Omo gold no. What you say? The point I want to make to the people of Ghana, say galamsey kono yebekun. The government is committed. Now denti ayentini kono say because of politically exposed persons are omumu do asika krobo. So they are the one government.
Are they bigger than Ghana?
They can never be bigger than Ghana. And I can tell you on all authority. Say if investigations conducted, prosecution court. If a contaminant belonging to Chairman Wontumi or MPP chairman in the Ashanti region, if Ishushemuba there they say indeed he is guilty, and I say no crack, say we flouting licenses and man no illegal mining. I can tell you on authority say the leadership of a contaminant they will go to jail, and I will not be surprised if Chairman Wontumi himself goes to jail. And I believe say Ghana for do one any better because you cannot have a situation now. Ye two abama say believe or mine. Ye the Ghana Japadi actions because of who or political leniency or the Ghana Japadi no or say Ghana say Ghana. But we cannot encourage something like that.
Let's have about Honum Malicious. My member of Honum na I don't know if next more kind you also have something to say on that.
Okay. My member of Congress na menchia or
but you saw Cambono there. Cambono be na yente.
Member Congress na menchia or for na menchia NDC funya na menchia minister me ba na mi ti se o ka se suna o sun you know na bet emuya
adete moya
emuya se un se aduma na be dia hye ne nsa no se o tena ase na se ukọ e bia ana se o hwe nsase a ese na o hwe nsu a ese ya ese utimsu enyo no nko akora na eso so un se there was a time na utumfo eko Cape Coast I think say na oko afashe du Cape Coast na udu river praho na oye ayi amamre wo ho no na wohwe bra camera no koto nsuo no so no na chese asefim nsuo na da na chese pituin watch us here se wohwe there was a time otumfo ne ebimu hyiaye na oka galamsey asem ya na oka se na hemfo ono na hemfo a one be ahyia no onim se ebimu ye den ebimu eyibi hwe galamsey ya ye kan yi no se wohwe nipa be ye involve ebi wo ha onye politician nanso esanse menkan se nkomo a ye di nyina no President Mama ayede Ghana ashen say politician.
Yeah.
Yes, so you go say a politicians. And to say Kobane say enipa benim de. Senka they should know better. Start to say be ye niema ense na emfata. Say den yetimi eka ho asem. Na akontaman na asem ya abetodwai. Me mahu press release bi abedi aba. Beche say be nyadi abeye galamsey ewo sa forest reserve for no amanfo eka me mahu press release bi abedi aba
from where
I just am
from Akontaman.
Yes, Akontaman Limited. What you say?
Yeah.
Na mum se odo asem imu asukwa ade ba ko ese nya etimti ase ese se wo no wo lease se oye ebia galamsey anase ese oye mining na mining na wo ye no tise ne na menua yi kan wo so sign grant amanfo access a se nipa no koyade no e wo baabi ne enu kwan se oya once a wo mom no o grant nipa no access no wo mom ne ese den ye chew watch us here enti ebetimi aye no kre se ebia Akontaman na nkasa enko nimri forest hono enkoye ebia galamsey anase onkotu gold ewo hono na nso sense wono wa grant amanfo access na benu bawura hono de ese etimi yeden yetimi chew enura ya chi abekochi no beko enipa 51 emu China for nkwa 8 excavators about 30 about 30 any tuo ahodo a eka ho a ni nyina no beye den beje na se wotena Ghana haisi na se woye saa aniamo ho nsɛmwi wabreko a wo no woye Ashanti regional chairman woye politician yaka adi galamsey yaka ho asɛm aka na wunse sometimes no enye nwanwa kyerɛ se obekaya Dr. Frimpong reporter or the buyer ne nsema okafa galamsey no kyerɛ se ope babia galamsey no koso pad babia se start free na ye ankane abandada mu horum ayi offense President Akufo-Addo ne nakache pe ne na amanfo eden to galamsey o kai party hiaska sasem no party hiaska enti na be sha amanfo kutupa ema be eden be ye galamsey sane be ya at least bebe timanya sika na be dey support and as sponsor
run ho ye dey
se ayi emra no afi ne aban foforo aiden aba na President Mama committed within 4 months you know yahu action land minister and forestry commission aiden ateki what you say na me gidi say sa week here yati asimu you know ba say di begina emra no aban no di bebe den ebegina emra no nipa be kochi be ewo forest horum no directors no bia enye den enka ho te se ne na menua yi kan no ba na be wo site abeya adwuma no be ni sika be de to ayi excavator enti se obi director na so ono no tena ne office na otimi maamanfo akwanya ema beko baabi enu kwan se beko forest ni nsuo ho ekoye galamsey sa ni pa no so se etim di medina mra no enti enye ba ya chebe no keke but me gidi say directors na be ye involve you know adama amanfo sa access to ayi forest home no se be nyina be ko gina mra no wontimu emobi enkotu galamsey na wo wontena office na ochina bi no yakwa nipa na ono no okotu galamsey ko pay 2 cedis bi o se 3 cedis koto ayigare ni binsi no ya nya ne saa na se yetimi che directors na mimi gidie say ebeye akwansidie ade ama afoforo se obi nso a oto ho no ma o ye similar thing no ebe sua de afim enti no week ya yasini no ye nyina ya expect say bibisa ebetimi ade ebetimi akoso what you say
Mate Ivan
Maybe.
I see you said this week we be able to be assessor now. Well, prosecution judicial process no in so best start this week. I don't know if
I think it's very very important. They did come and mention what for the menka say JB.
yes sir.
Ade ba ko a mood du pa wasase we so a political power. A mood du ankasa very overriding and very overreaching. But the interesting aspect of it is sa political power near nema me no. It will either make you or make you. And do back abra Kwame Nkrumah every UK eba Ghana abra oye ne law we ya na oba Ghana no. He was nobody. But oba ya obenya political power enam the other year no. He became somebody.
Yeah.
So the political power made Kwame Nkrumah. Before Akufo-Addo be president, we were made to believe say he was somebody. But onya power no or the defame no hold to the sense that he has become nobody. So far as this whole political destiny is concerned. So a chance we need political power. Now when you before so be use no and the determine the kind of legacy and the kind of name you make for yourself.
Yeah.
Prior to the election, Adeba Kwana Ghana for Yinaya Kanwasam Galamsey. For the first time in the history of this country, na year quiet election and economy only did a conversation, but it was Galamsey. A child how destructive it was at the time.
Yeah.
And the criminal negligence on the part of the government of the day said obey be found to the extent that there were reports. Man for evidence, a good president and him all that he needed to do was to act on it. But at the top of all this evidence, you know, yet now say law. Making the press give the president power to use his own personal discretion to award forest reserve to individuals or more mining in this forest way. There were a lot of criminal activities and perpetrated. So elections, no course of President Mahama Baye, the focus was on Galamsey because that was the leading conversation.
Yes.
But you see, transition it goes slow. People wanted to see some drastic measures be buying a take, but the government was in transition. I feel the government in the form, so that form no, and others will be. But I can tell you, sir, this past week we will be at war reservations so far as the fight against Galamsey is concerned. I think the government has demonstrated enough commitment within this week, saying they are really ready in the fight against corrupt this Galamsey thing. And I wish, sir, that particular way, no, because you see, it's one thing that is going to make or make the president, so far as his legacy is concerned, because your friend is a Ghana for our much interest. There's one subject that people in academia and stuff involved because our destinies are on the line. So I'm expecting that these measures are buying a take here or go after this Galamsey, you know, will not just end there. Debbie, with this Akwanta mines, there has been a lot of investigation reporting as far as demonstrating clearly the involvement of this company in mining, especially our forest reserve and then there is a video that is making rounds. I will be a documentary. Capture how destructive this company has been in these areas. I must say forest reserve and so forth. When the minister did the press conference, I say we're revoking lances. For me, that is not enough. These people are criminals, and they should be telling to, or they should be talking to us. Measures are you prosecute these individuals because the level of distraction are causing. We can't just say you revoke license, and then it ends there. Yes, it's good. Some people have been arrested, but then you see. There be a mechanic okwa mining site. Nipa no mu guam na mo mutu no. Omo ko baade o. E poverty na so mo. Yeah. E no omo wuye into sa nema no. E do kwachi sa nkrofo na you are not resolving Galamsey. That is why from Rollins Pens besi na soldier for ko nwuram ye chase amanfo basi because who chase you on the following day they will come. But the owners nankasa the campaigns, you know, are highly connected individuals, just like my brother said. And And these are people who should be going after. For instance, Okwa ground na excavator si hwa. Which excavator abachi nipa? Do you know why?
Sure.
Because excavator no owner. Chances number no trace, you know the owner and whoever company crana or rent it out. You can follow the trade to know who and who rented that particular thing. So you trace to the real owners of these things. And I think that with the excavator bed 31 and I know Omakwachi, Omunyusu those strategy to get to the core individuals now, or we are responsible for this destructive behavior. You're mining, you're lancing, as if you say. But these people are determined. For them, it is not some kind of a vocational. It's a full-time vocation they've employed. Say, this is what they will do. And on top of that, I'm also expecting, say, government will do everything to ensure, say, JB, your mineral regime, no, there be a same way. Some re-engineering because na Ghana atimia take the full ownership of our mineral destiny, because we cannot be owning tons of resources. Then foreign companies will come and mine and they'll give us royalties. No, it doesn't make sense at this present time. You understand? Because this time, the resources we have, say you're building the necessary infrastructure and then as a foreign. Trust me, it can take care of the people here. But people are benefiting, external people making money, and not cry they go no mutua. Including not here, and the Chinese are coming. I'm happy the minister said some of the Chinese people are now going to be prosecuted because defeating the earlier Niama Nanam Krum said, Yachi Chinese if I deport you more, Yansaben, the woman Chinese in a deported no Nagan and Idewa Jelino. Does it make sense? So I think that foreigners now must be prosecuted. Magana for Hunen Savo as deterrent to Obise Galamsey. Indeed, government is ready. Now again, Jebi, Oko in the past, announce a investigation.
Yeah.
Dr. Frimpong Watson a investigation. Adding a report to buy. These are criminal reporter. There is no expiry date in some of these things. I want government to revisit these issues. Are you sitting as for someone that's in Namkroma?
Yeah.
What Johnny or Baba?
Okay.
Oh, and the crowd you can try people in absentia.
Of course.
Yes, it's a big deal.
And then
yes.
Of course.
We can try you in absentia. So I know crowd way. We need to go after these individuals. As our binary term in that era is gone. No. Professor Frimpong Watson can be a key witness to Niama happen, Government needs to collaborate with him, get that particular evidence, and make sure that we follow through. And every single person in the past, involved in galamsey, we bring these people to justice. Because it cannot just happen, say, that chapter near close to, then we are moving forward. And then the same people are the MPP from Penin for. And other people within the media are bold enough to sit on public and they are criticizing John Mahama, say he's not fighting galamsey. When you had 8 good years, the president akwenta mine ya yache na ne ya ene ne niema adimu ye fe say illegal and I said all pretty. The same person was clear, just like my brother said. Ye fe say Koforudia wakohia bishop and a president go use the platform no ka say akwenta mine nyanye bibia, but this is a company that is in the forest. Manase Koya investigation and several other reports came. The indicating say indeed the guy was in mining. Illegal mine now also in our forest reserve as a forum and every much crew our forest reserve. So I think that you see our approach and our effort in dealing with this thing must be ruthless. It doesn't matter Nipani NDC and MPP. All we know is that we want to preserve our forest and and going forward, JB. Yeah, negotiate, your friend is saying lands and as for instance that the mine wine government want to take over now. Nationalize all the assets. The resources be here BR. Let us go out there, get that particular service to come and work for us. At the end of the day, we own the resources. And again, this minor mining now you leave it to individuals. Government must begin to form companies. Now you're training individuals. They will be in charge at the back of these individuals, and they can employ young people to go into some of these mining areas. Now so that mining will be responsible mining, not those kind of winner yehua. Yes, sense has as for no. It doesn't make sense. So for me, I think that this effort as shall say must be renewed. And these criminals over the years, more use galamsey. And unfortunately for us, galamsey no munyo musikara. They come into the political space.
But the irony is that Akuntam mining over the years, I think the first Mahama government was Atamis government, one of them.
Okay.
the excavators cry,
Yeah.
Then came another Dagwa
Yes.
Kufuor, or the judgment debts.
Yes.
Why are we reducing politics to this level where political differences do not matter irrespective of the judgment that goes in years back?
Yes, that is why the quality of men we put in leadership position. And I'm making about galamsey, and galamsey, I'm making it possible for a lot of idiots to win political power because of money. So such person who is not thinking about Nema or Guinea, he's thinking about personal interest, the interest of his affiliate, friends, and then as a for them. But the core decisions that we need to make are our far-reaching consequences and impact in a positive on the fortunes of this country. They will not take it. Because I contact mining, illegal at the time. Now you're confiscating the Nema, now you're the same company was liberated because MPP was in power and it was giving full access. Yeah. This time, not just mining areas or forest reserve.
Or Tumbi.
Yes, forest reserve. No, or no, I find it there. Oh, to now or some time be my man for or time we are. Yes, or 250 grand everywhere be a baby gold. Or did you go do any dollars? What can I in dollars a year? No, every month be an or you go 250 grand. And then your business now, you think the president was not in the know. National security will be a who's animal in there. So I think there is me. I don't want to mention names. They are irrelevant. These are key people. Must say your name. It doesn't matter who they are. I think that the state must be ruthless. My cat says we a state. You cannot be merciful. You cannot. Your friend says show weakness. We need to demonstrate to the people of this country that government is fully in charge, and in things like this, not why you'll be scared venturing into some of these arenas. We need to make galamsey a high-risk venture for China. But if we create a weak environment, these people will be importing this Chinese. They come with highly sophisticated equipment. They poison our soil, poison our water bodies. They destroy everything. At the end of the day, they take monies and they go away. Right. You know, China, my culture, they are building gold reserve because they are shifting from the reliance on the offense a US dollar because of what is going on at the geopolitical arena. And we Poland through the whole world open country back auto gold in the year is China because the central bank is behind it. They want to build a huge gold reserve when the Western world crypto they want your friends gold. That is why they've liberated these people who are more. Don't think that they are individuals. Right. Because China is a communist state. Every company that comes here is operating at the instructions of the Chinese government. Assemble, they will get their backing. It's the reason why they forced Ghanaian government at the time, to deport individuals as Omoko jail. Because the government is behind it. We are talking about a communist state. So I think these are red lines that we need to look at as people. Now you protect young Kasaya dear. Now you BM you greedy dear. Trust me, we will never get anywhere.
All right, but that's it. Maminda Ivan Asina, me enche me bani ahe ECG sesem no so. But as usual, me start free Dr. Samuel Yehonomuna yahe ECG. But that's no me pass that kese fama Shedraka Mono Enterprise. Anka to say make sure say brother Soye na free or no endili. Bibia opibia no. Fa brother Soye na free or no ebe dili na bibia so timi akoye. Now so doctor, my membra will be na me here. What is happening to ECG? The doom soil is getting too much.
Of course. Enter the kind Ghana ni bia wo ho kwan. Say Oma ne how a dead because it were ECG bills. And to be out of say at a point in time or GD say the light ma or come was
absolutely.
We are no more in an era okay doom lights you can have a timetable but it's a your timetable. We the NDC government we work at the pleasure of the people of Ghana. Ghana food in a year. You're telling the energy sector no. Because of how it was managed in the last 8 years now, it's facing a lot of difficulties.
I see.
Free Abayamu in 2016, now a car ECG, the whole energy sector day was about 8 billion. And I'm not because it's about 70 billion.
Is it US dollars or Ghana cedis?
Ghana cedis. Sikampa, they tofang, won't poor power plants in Munaya power. Yabai being a day, in and so there are major challenges in the energy sector. Of course, Ghana have every right. They have every obligations. So demand. They say, I buy any. and until NDC buy. But I want to say you buy NDC one. There significant investments in the energy sector. Atuabo gas plants.
Yeah.
You need to buy.
Yeah, sure.
Asogli phase 2. You need to buy car power and Mary water. We need a lot of things. Yes, I create ESLA, Energy Sector Levy Act. Menoka say a generated 45 billion Ghana cedis. New year corona a car Ghana day only 8 billion. Obieja of 45 billion. A car 8 billion. What this 45 billion as another 70 billion account. I should tell you how the energy sector was managed. Obviously we kept the lights on. Only be no more. They be no more free oil. Carry forward. Now can economy. But the major issue here about the management of the energy sector, they don't do it. And Yaba, Ghana 4 years, there are major difficulties. At the same year, solve it before 2015. We are still putting in place measures to solve it. But Doomso has been lingering around, just that people are not honest. But I want to promise them. I said the government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Yabano. It said ye buy ye how are not gonna afford to draw now. We buy a betting tax na and mebuno council. Ye year for one.
Yeah.
Ye buy 11. No more council. Ye year for.
Yeah.
Ye buy a 1.5% withholding tax on all refined gold. Ye year for. And a host of taxes are not a Ghana for. Ye year for. And a gradual process. The energy sector difficulties are no. I can promise Ghana for say in only a few weeks or a few months. Sanima will not to be true. Indeed, we are currently
the previous government bought so whole energy sector. And is it legitimate? Or you are still looking into it?
Oh, of course, majority of them we are still looking into it. Now say you say Omako Kraniama about Ghana they will need in the next 10 years. Nema will be here in the next 10 years. So to me once so Nema no so say in the next 5 years. Until by the time I next year 10 years we do not Nema na.
I said that.
Sanima will na a procurement or more year in the last 8 years and a car to Ghana so.
And Nema no be here the year Jumano. Or me here Nema in the next 10 years. And Omako Koton Nema no so be expire the next 5 years. And Nema na be good Ghana.
And 20 years old plans and
say or general the cats. And I near so be good so Yanom so
so those ones are they legitimate or there's something?
I don't they have the right to do procurement from my but say
appropriate.
What measure ben the com? What was the need assessment and also motor? We don't know. Investigations are still going on. But the point I want to make to Ghana for the say one amatuaba and what GD say NDC abai better than an MPP regime yaba. It is said ye no maybe a chairman in the energy sector no. Ye be san Jessica to and the tuya yamuka na energy sector na so kai say asogli ni other power plants no mutimi do mo
yeah sure
because of a car na Ghana de omo nyaye because a car ye tuya na kakra. In fact now it is better because Oma will say NDC abai we are a little we are modest and ye can't ye de ose yo into omo gidi e wo yemu and as adum so nkete ya esi it has been happening in the last 8 years except that Ghana for have a higher expectation for the government because they know say we have done it before.
So when are you going to fix it?
Very soon. Very
how soon?
In fact there are some places what is actually happening in load shedding. Some of them, to be very honest with you, but some of them, to be very honest with you.
And people are also claiming, even some of the MPP members are claiming, yes, but MPP members for the current ECG boss do not share the same ideology with what President Mahama and for that matter, you should look for somebody on who share the same ideology or equally fit enough.
Yes, I agree with Obia or expressing a view on the matter. The point is that President Mahama Obai, he's one president why an appointment very early. and gradually some of these appointments are now being done and some of the terminations are going on. The NDC and the people of Ghana should rest assured that President Mahama, he has been in this game for a very long time. When the president 4 years, our opposition 8 years, and he is by far one of the most experienced politicians and leaders you will ever get. And it is a beginning. The audience said, I was a President Mahama on ya no muso cheope. Now President Mahama will do it. And ti dum so ne electricity hu sensema abai. Me shagana fobo.
Okay.
Say the matter will be solved and will be solved amicably. I'm a Ghana for you any aje say you da ba amoto something ko to ye no anye kwa. Yesre Ghana for you na say oya wo ne akona na omu come because of the ekosi mo fa che.
All right.
And unti amato abama
Very well.
We work at your pleasure. Eye mumunti ena yete ya ye adwuma. Ye den hihye pa egu akwemu sesa problem na ye be solve.
All right. Lucius. Mbremwena.
Mnyam dase. Dun so enkiti a nansan yehu. Me gidi se Ghana ni bia obeka ho asem se o. Ya dum kania. Odika. Patriotic ase.
Yeah.
Because nipa de se owo aban na aban no ye aban a utie na utini jaoma wo ye den o kan de opa eboa ma amamu ye den ejina anka ne aban a atwam na ye nhu bi sa nsem bi wo kra na ne kan no edin na of course se wo hwe dun song kitinkiti a na nsan ye huhu a because na no se na me wo convention asini bedum kania anumre nti ema eye
discotheque kakra
ati asenti na eha adwen however no ne yehunu eni untimu emfa sobo no nyina emmo ayi NDC aban patwa wati ase
eye no na Ghana for pe o
ai minimpa minimun say afi ne aban hiaba enti se o sorry na se niema bi koso na wunhu se ekoso a emu ya na mom se ohun se aban no nso no o de niema egu akwan mu se ne be ya niema betimi ade ebetimi ayekama to se ne na me nua eka bibi about niema akoso ECG se betimi koto mfidi a benhia ahu nyema bi anabeye no na ye bebotom nko ana nabadwen enti ekotia oman no because of say na aka akra ma yato abanti no na akwa ete say be so because na say bi nsem a mete ye about say be kra nyema bi ha be contract will be say onko fa nyema mra nipa no nyema o de beba no nyina no ne contract no end wo port ho no se bebe clear no so no ye ECG for asem what you say
yeah
enso bebe timi so aja ECG betimi aja aniema no wo ho no ma ama dimoreja ka niema no na fe de nipa na ono ko fa ade no baaye no wasen ya fa akiri no wasen akọ eden wakoto no wasen abeton de ama ECG bi what you say enti yesika na be eden be hwe ayi ofrensen ameri ni ye be de ko kumase one
yeah
it cost or minus $36 million from IU. And we had a free tech crab Ghana none boys.
I said $4 million or something.
And Tino said, what the idea free techie ever Ghana? Now say around 4 million now. I think it's 3.6 million.
Yeah, almost 4 million.
Almost 4 million.
Yeah.
Now what the I didn't know Ghana high keke. And not to cost $36 million. So you see, MPP for Adi in Samone Kessie, Ajaho. Now, and yet 1 day affair, yem timum for 1 day per enye. Now, mum say, I cancel the Yedika. What you say? And to me, GDA say, send your President Mama air committed, say, or the obey Ghana, you know. Me GDA say, free sabrewi ekuye you know sa ECG insensem niema ewo ho no ma ema ase kanea no entimu gyina so no ebe solve what you say
yeah
enti no the meka che Ghana fo nyina say yenye den yenye twen honhom kakra what you say
okay
say yenya twen honhom kakra me gidie say kasa na die sometimes emu ya ebi ni say na me kasa me convention ase abedum kanea what you say enti no ebi o ha no so eye bibi a ebi akra me kan say convention de akra obi o ha na ne de na oye no ewo financial returns bi so to meet certain demands bi ne nasefo na yadum kanea ebi a ono so any alternative generator bi anase plant bi a wo hono or rely on only ayi men kan say ECG anase ayi entino emu ya nipa no kan odi say oye dem oka but me gidie say yenya twan honhom kakra say ne president mama I committed no obe solve.
But Ivan, so if you want to say if there's something fishery, I also a ECG, I do so neighbor. What are you waiting for?
David, I think that for quite some time now, Adebako Adiga Nenya Pa Ukruma ADFN state-owned enterprises. These are enterprises they are supposed to, work at the various strategic areas. Sabaya Ghana, a bit click. So you can say it's one of the engines of the government machinery. But you see, for some time now, all these entities have become debt entities. Are more driver debt. Debt, more rise as a result of inefficiencies within these institutions because they are not accountable to anybody. ECG, we don't know messy up or no politician will be at them. Bank of Ghana, man for messy up, others are now printing money, and as for inflation could do 50 something in Obia would know. I know that the politician will take the bashing. So some of these things are render these state institutions very inefficient. And sometimes when you walk in and you look at some of the decisions they make, you'll be shocked. Foolish decisions, reckless decisions are those decisions that are far-reaching consequences on the fortunes of this country. For instance, I mean, you care about your friends say ECG can near my own here. What will be the motivation? You need the next 10 years. Expiration date be 8 years. So you know very well, say it doesn't make any sense in terms of logic to make such procurement, but because I know that they are not being held accountable. No, a politician will pick a call, Munya this order, me supplier, our China, Menena Kasa, and they will bring the things. The state will pay. So these inefficiencies in all these state institutions are so compromised to the extent that ECG ECG, I say on NECA. This is a company, independent power producers, as of Gilwine, or magic power, or they don't sell power. When they produce the power, they give it to ECG, go and sell. Obama catches a technical and commercial losses here 42%. Now more than JB company bank and now be a produce power man second. What's the technical and commercial losses here 42%? That no company can be viable, and that become a norm. Oh, it's okay. Now you're at home. Nobody's been fired. Abranti and Anoti Obetra TV3 former MD justifying this reckless spending in as far. Yes. Under his watch, a lot of these things went on. And for me and or resign, and I'm a visa and some sense of decency, at least what draw back. Now I hire a bit to be a yes way, but he was defending some of those nauseating stuff. So you see, for me, the doomsday situation, are quite obvious. But then you see, you can't governance. You can't go Bobby so baby. I just say Bimia Aquenia called Kainba and son of Mobi. Governance, my culture says, is an act. It's flexible. And sometimes you can contextualize it just to fit one casa or terrain because obia circumstances are different. Says the books have been opened. Every reasonable mind behind the catchy Semuna MPP are buying Bogu ho, a man for who say power sector no, there is a crisis. Who doesn't know? Unless you're ready to accept the reality. That is the reality. Yet home. But you see, Doomsona shall say eba.
Which is worrying. And tell them, everybody is entitled to express that particular thing. So what you need to do is constant engagement with the people. Tell them what is happening. Yeah.
Because Ghanaians understand the problem. But what they will not agree with you is all of a sudden lights eba. without anybody being told anything.
As it stands now, I don't know there, but there is no reason or justification to why I award so.
No, there is a reason, but nobody is telling you. That's the reason why. So
Dr. Triana Kanya.
And I make I say in the past, some of these mistakes occur. So
yeah.
Abra John Mahama about 2016, do you know say of free power? Years after, and some man for who said or see your friend is a Legon hospital.
Yeah.
Years after, before a man for who said Nema or yeah. So I think communication is key. There is a problem on daily basis. Update people doing such situation. Saying that people will agree with you because government is are buying the magic.
Yeah.
And that's sorry, and Nema was and Nema no. People know so there is a problem, but the energy ministry must consistently be engaging people, update people, let people know. Hey, Hannah, this is the situation, and the lights never cut off. Mom will be tema, and that prepare. This is what is going to happen. When you inform, you see, lights in a call for one, and the lights in a call for the yaman for a hero. And yet, the fact that you don't know, you don't know when it is coming.
Yeah,
I think that where our governance are getting to know, we need to move beyond this. In other jurisdictions like America and Forum, some of the company lights in a call off and they send a text message as telling you why and when it will come. With maybe you're not much advanced to get there, but radio announcement that kind of way, let people know, let them understand. Then my catch as a governance, it's a public enterprise. So and you be in the department and Sabia Sarana 12 o'clock, I baby or Mokoyano Maba. No. A public enterprise, you need to inform people, let people know. That is why I call White House Donald Trump. Every day he's behind the cameras, communicating his own policies in his own voice for people to know what he's doing on daily basis. I think the president should be doing weekly that kind of way, and then White House, the press secretary, every blessed day, so answering question from your friend is saying
the media,
because you don't leave doubt. Governance is such that you don't create a vacuum. But the very moment you create a vacuum, people will fill it, and whatever they fill it with, you don't have any control. Because people will fill it with propaganda, misinformation, whatever. You can't control. So for me, you don't create room. But Sankayabana Yama reason. This is why there is doom so. I'm for
yeah.
And the very people they are the same people on social media, and then they are tagging John Mahama to do so, but they are the very people who caused the problem. So why don't you tell people, explain people, say these are the challenges, we are doing our best, here we are, and then say so people are in the know. But what's also now you hold information to your chest, you don't speak to anybody. Sometimes people want information and then suddenly Obia who said WhatsApp now will send a message. I take a blue no, and now people know how to disable that particular. You are sending the message and take a crowd of our kind. You see, I don't know why we don't learn as people. Power not JB. However long you stay, it will expire. Rollins to me, Obenya, Ghana, 21 years in power in military uniform. He wielded absolute power, and the Rollins were ever.
Because from the old canon, as it starts now, me try me bills every. Ebia me Kenya ni duma.
Yes.
Me su prepaid.
Yes.
I'm expecting some men enjoy power.
Yes.
E ka bi wo ho no mo a, anase bibi atochema wo ho no mo a. Ye ne ye stakeholders.
Yes.
Leading stakeholders.
Yes.
We should be of the known say this is the reason why this and that is happening.
You need to understand, sir, there can never be a situation power sector in a problem. There is a problem.
Absolutely.
But communicate. Tell people every day, engage them. Let them know why this is happening, why and then 2 o'clock or light back off because of this situation. Tell people I'm not against light now air off, no, but I'm against the lack in terms of flow of information. Updating people, let them know, explain, because already know book now by OPS, who say we had just about 48-hour power emergency way. The President Mahama made commitment to say he will do everything at the early stage things were going away. So at this point in time, the ministry need to take over, engage people, public update, give them anyasa. You are giving arsenals to your enemies. And the MPP is out of power. There are people on social media calling John Mahama, Doomso John Mahama, when they know they created a problem. Elections, that time you free crew net so a current abwabo no see hono. And again, ECG issue nearby a man for tongue cables and as a forum no. we need to revisit that particular issue, because the crisis we are in today is as a result of this criminal negligence and the complicity of some people in the past administration. Why are they working free? This ECG cable matter must be revisited full glare, and every single individual won't be
Is the NDC and, for that matter, John Mahama ready to visit that issue?
Oh, no. At this time, it's not just about NDC. It is about John Mahama. Governance level, and the caliber of young people who are coming, and how Ghanaians have become so much receptive and interested in issues of politics. You have no choice. People will determine what to do. One year you are digging your own grave, and the president, as a very experienced politician, he understands these things. You understand? So punishing crime is something you can never forgo at this time, because young people are out there asking questions, because there were criminal activities all over. You and I were here. We are all sitting on this platform. Boom, there be corruption. Now corruption now prosecuted. So I think that the president understands this. Let us take this fight. You see, my catch and weakness has no space in politics.
Yeah,
you need to be strong. You need to be very frontal. You don't care about what people will say, so far as you know what you're doing is right. That is what we need to do, because Nipana committee crime. We can't live in a country where somebody will just wake up a day because signals brew wine. Now I walk into estate. A dying among kind 27 man will check album now more dama. Jebi Sikan Babi no. On declare you be and these things as you see, and a man for best say or a party into your press conference I could defend them. I'm telling you, press conference and the soldier for such nonsense must not be tolerated, because we are talking about issues of criminality. Oko other jurors now me back catch was a South Korea president and say omotuno once ya on betuaba. Do you know what he did? He declared a martial law. I'm a soldier for parliament. That action was deemed unconstitutional by parliament. I'm passive vote of no confidence. Supreme Court unanimous decision. South Korea preparation to go into election. The whole president though. How much more? Yes, some obviously infinitesimal will be on an ECG. We need to be very aggressive in our approach. Now you're making sure this time round, young people are available. They've taken vested interest in politics. They are monitoring. They see how things are going, and they want to take some key decision. Don't forget Akufo-Addo. Na a mad handkerchief, a for money, and so Okwabo so kaya. Na omoji tax at the man. Or Bacono, na a man on Babono. By the same person, nothing has changed because of a Brababoni on the power of the boy. You understand? Yeah. So when you win a political power, it's an opportunity. So, those who pursue wealth, they are narrow-minded, twisted individuals, and they don't even understand governance. Come I catch a common Kromaba Krumano, no Rachel. But the name in Nkrumah left because of the legacy he built. His name will live forever. Who remember Obiawasi 26 buildings that were easily gone? Now, Hanafa. Because I know the day you may be the richest person in Ghana, you can't feed everybody. The poorest person in Ghana, ODD. He's the poorest. He will eat tomorrow. So when you get power, make positive impact, and that is the most important thing.
Very well, Doctor. So as a more like a communication, the flow of communication, especially with the Doomso thing. So, is there any avenue? Is there any reason why? Because it's a Ghana for whom they enjoy value for money.
Oh, some of these things, it is in the bosom of ECG.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I think hereby I had several press conferences. Armah, the energy minister, addressing the public about the state of the energy sector. Armah can say there's even a plan to build another gas plant.
Okay.
What have you had? So the communication is ongoing. Of course, Ghana are asking for more. There's no difficulty. Like I said earlier, we work at the pleasure of Ghanaians. If at any point in time, I'm not going to say your communication, might yet said your mopena, we'll ramp it up and do what we need to do to make sure the issues, about many. So that is the point. But the point must be made. Say where we are now, no credit or one.
Is there anything that can be? You will be able to be a dear Fahuana? Said the baby away in ya.
Of course, I don't think Ghana for to Obama. I to Obama, and I have very significant changes in the energy sector. Ghana for to Obama. We are still putting in place measures a day. Stable electricity, stable power. You buy independent power producers. Yet you have a breaker. Kaka yetu ya allocate scar for fuel and yeah that okay say buy na fuel mpo power plant be bi ni hono ye buy ya ye ni na ama ene bibia akoso boko. The point is that governance is a process. The difficulties na we in Ghana for here so the two abamaye. It is those difficulties na e solve. But the point must be made. So why we are no, to be very honest, and yet every sphere of our national life, our social life, a car aba baby them. What they make us say. Enti near marketing get I say the system no, has become a difficulty.
All right.
We want to promise the people of Ghana. Said to Abamaye. Share public go akwemu. Na ya complaints the brain no and also on the part of government side no. We don't want to complain. So
I say it too early. I say it too early.
I say we don't want
the complaints are becoming too early. As at the end,
we don't want to engage in that. I know it's Ghana for my intimate be some question. Okay, indeed, by 120-day social contract. The last time I came out of 20 final presidents were 19 Thursday on launch the free sanitary pad project.
I see. Coming Thursday.
Yes, I allocated about 300 million to that. By e-levy, betting tax. You can say free senior high school. Decentralized feeding. You allocated 3.5 billion Ghana cedis. Mahama Care projects. You launch 1 million codes program. You launch a Jumara program. You launch national apprenticeship program. Technical committee. You launch. So many of these programs are present. Mama can't so be in the first 120 days. Why they? Why energy sector difficulty. It be about the people of Ghana or more comfort. Any or many GA. Any or more right as Ghanaians. Our taxes. I was almost a canon. The government of John Dramani Mahama ready to assuage the plight of the people. In the energy sector, I have a difficulty. She be Michigan for in a matter of 2-3 months, there will be pastors. What's the matter?
All right.
Some of Magana for me.
All right. Lucius.
Yeah.
Now, my phone wrap you up on this issue. Yeah.
The Rebecca said the Ivan Kaino say I said there's lack of communication. I feel say Odika. So say na Dr. Eka say ministry no aye press conference ne for and that is at the ministry level.
Yeah.
And so at the sector level no me feel say say ECG ankasa on daily basis. Say their light be go off and I say ebe gina so ana brea e de be ko off no say betim Ghana for eden ehu what you say because a light e be ko off on tehwe time agnos beba no unim say unim time o light de be ko off e bia me gidi say niam bi wo ho man ka be den obeye ansana akọ off what you say me e bia say light no so kra akọ off unim time light de beba enti no ye wo bibi wo honum na se opese o ya o de kwa akọhye that period be say light wo to honum na light go off wo honum na aba ene ndie me feel say ECG for ne Ghana for any ye so once at the ministry no eye na fam de me so me egi ECG say ben so no be ma information nye den enflu because at least obia ne oyisu kania bia no otua ho ka enti no ohia service no once anipa na atua no kwade na chese wa ready say obeden obese evun nche okutua e ene kura no thank God say yenyusu ayi no bim anka no wo ho boso postpaid enti no prepaid enti once anipa no kwa akoto ayi power no nko ade ade abehiem na chese watuaka owo botaye nti okoede okotoye enti no ese oso utimi S7 no wo hwe na se service no there is a challenger e bia wuntimi meet niema bia you let the person know and then so dia kwa no internet adaroma even Facebook kura na se other social media handles no se who page kura de to one ma me gidi sa man for be share enti no se pa se light be ko off and say information o manipa ente de who need any justification to that effect. Say, won't you check into and say, won't you cry? We are reaching out to the people. We have several avenues. They are reaching out to the general public.
Aaron, wait a minute, just 1 minute.
Okay, but some I can feed into the inefficiencies.
Yes.
You see, as some way by ECJ, you want to be given that update.
Yeah.
But you say now the ministry, then through government. But because Obiam Fajan to a much, they feel so normal,
very comfortable.
Kind of attitude. So I think that is why we need to be very frontal and instill some sense of discipline into some of these state-owned enterprises. And some of the decisions I have reckless or take it with you because that internal culture, no. Give prominence to that kind of inefficiency. No, we need to, you see, resetting not just state institution in the here and some of these agencies in Nasafonum. They take the fat salary at the time. Bank of Ghana air run a loss. Our loss near unprecedented in our history. No, now you're to gold watch and as for the map. Your friends board members.
Board members, yeah.
Yes, they were paying themselves allowances 500,000, 5 billion per each individual. At the time, the company Air Boca in our history, they were printing money.
We will create a handshake. Governor Bekwai so shaking hands with all the staff members into be 20,000. Hey,
so and just imagine, Dr. Nia not your friend saying district baby all your operation. Obi blood, Agasia Guneni, Nanipan HIV, now I are infected forever no, or then the family in FACO.
Yeah.
The risk these people are going through, people rendering essential services. Obeti baby because of way and you see sometimes anything of mining you know because you see on mining yebi. And yet those up there is the efficiency on the ground. People workforce no more honor. How are we energizing them? How must be motivated and they work?
Very well. The new patriotic party, nobody will engage you for whatever it is. But Munka will say, a gun of one quarter sansle and a two abama mudinchu. In any case, I am not sure say Nanka Mudin Kudimwa. Na ka betina say actual report bisa say e de ne course ai ma mudi nkunim na ka beka say mo ankasa ba executives national regional constituency executives and am bom homebody and am mutumi di nkunim but then am say nyamo na Ghana fo hu enyama mo ye ya mo fu say enye papa nti they voted against you. Was set up a big committee led by Professor Michael Quay, the former Speaker of Parliament. Whichever way you would think about him, he said, I mean, why you married the new patriotic party? Sir, on the recommendations be back, on the findings be back, and everything that goes into the reporter, please accord Ghanaians some kind of respect and dignity. Muma Ghana for who says 7 predecessors of who here and they are the leading stakeholders in your political party. That is the new patriotic party. It is not for a crop of people. And yet, a Busiem Ejapadier, and Anya Nafufu Ejapadier, and Anya Kabi party, and yet party, or what did Kabima Kabi at whom? It is a report about. Not me, your ordinary voter. No one set up a committee to find out why you lost in the 2024 election, sir. Me and me talk about the mouth. The same who you me talk about the mouth. And don't what you mean we need about one. I don't know so what about here. So me mat about the amount. Now say to me over 1 million votes. Now say about one esu amman faso and I say to me free ever yet to me win the general election side. Then me am to about the mount and who be here say me who nientia what to me new kunim na wouldn't cho. Because there are a lot of speculations out there. Some Armah Buah and away you say and now why you say and that's because so yes you will attribute it to so many issues. But the fundamental issue is that NPP is a political party. At whom? It is a heavily democratic institution. And a political party do not hide that report. with the greatest of respect to Justice Pimpor Kodia, the chief scribe of the party, when I am the CEO of the party, please, seven predecessor, Magana for whom a faswa, a woman and the Tuaba and the Mao, and then the political party you belong. Senebeya, it will inform the ordinary Ghanaians. Say next time, some more decision, they will make any decision here now. And now some will make any choice. Say the Pacono Coquendi Monimwa, say the Pacrono, and remember fast war. And I'm not timetable say the 2024 flag bearer, Echo thank you to. So what is the thank you to all about? What is the thank you to all about? Because you have not given me a reason why you lost that election. When the commission the Aba committee and the Aba, some people share when the year lose elections. Report number here. What's happening? They make a answer. Nemo the flag bearer no di anymore. Or a back on the thank you to. So what is the thank you to all about? Mumma Ghana for give Ghanaians some kind of respect. Mumbu Ghana for kakra. Na Ghanaian who must not do so when people modo. I don't know what Kabenya say we go boys if on social media they will talk trash. Yes, I mean I don't care. Mumma can because look, baby, you drew our life when the democracy mono. Obia oba contest obi obedi ne ho akire wono mo say oya public figure yet to the swaba and the man di brebe no sand the is not accountable to himself. That person is accountable to Ghana. Ejumakuobi and a group of people. And you who see one mo say omo ye juma not for their personal interest but for the interest of Ghana. They are accountable to the larger population of the entire Ghanaian people. Not for your personal interest. We don't care about you. And it's our idea. You don't look at yourself. You look at the larger population. And that is why most of the time, Kodoma Radio, I remember, of blessed memory, I project visit the constituency. What do you call it? Is it pipe? But maybe I'm trying to say pipe, no. Why no? I don't know who to say or the researchers are quiet. Researchers also catch us on quiet and what to say, baby, I'm enjoying. And the chroma for the catchers on your baby, away. Baby, I'm well be possible. And baby, I was also a sunny moon. Researchers for the say, or yet will have museum and so more. And the chroma for the say, or yet will have museum and baby. No problem. When Janet move for the kind, and the cocoa no baby, researchers for the year, no, unim. Or your project this you hold movie for so many years or more you do that. You know why? Because in between any baby away, almost see nanom won't feel hold baby. So the assumption is that you so no there's no way they will drink water that is coming from their great ancestors. So what is that common sense when the logic way I say in your book I say? It has nothing to do with book. It's about common sense and development communication. You communicate accordingly. It's a new patriotic party. So most of you are truly democratic. And I'm going to come and become your member of the tomb. Now must say you Jenny Hunter it's not the other report in the for the entire MPP people and of course the Ghanaian people at large. That was what they said on passing. What person would just say? Because I am also sincere. The details of that report is so dirty to the extent that you people do not have any moral right to even talk about anything called democracy. So it is also so there. And there's so many on social media and the other platforms, you know. You can't say that, mamu. Said that one of them also wrote to say, yes, see, Armah Buah, the national treasurer is looking for Armah Buah to come and account for Sika. Dr. Omiadeba as the campaign, the special assistant and the campaign manager, and I said whatever it was, Sika the man should come and account for it. Say I'm open the other, say I'm no. And this also so there. Then bring the report. But we Ghana for how miserable the whole report is all about. Now we if indeed you are looking for power, because we remind Ghanaians every day, every morning, every afternoon, every evening about 6 reporter. What is your interest? Just a report code. What is your interest? Sure. In any case, there are a lot of institutions that Ghana had to say MPP before that. That's what your heads. So maybe a lot of institutions, very romantic areas, very romantic institutions are Ghana for MPP for, and that's what your heads of those institutions. Maybe okay, be a man or honomo. And young people did not go for the appointed down, that's all. Interested better than John Dramani Mahama. Ghana Airport Authority is the same MPP manner. Now not go for the appointed on one, that's all almost is here. Go to different institutions and you will find out to say, and it's not about, look, I am not interested in whoever and whatever it is, but I am interested in the outcome of every single thing that goes on in this country. I am very much interested in everything that goes on in this country. Not your personal interest, not your political interest, but the interest of Ghana. Kwa VRA, nipa da VRA, I know, still that's the MPP ni. The deputy NDC ni. Oko Fanochi Teaching Hospital. Me am a professor Ade, a very fantastic young man. I wish the son and come back to that because he's doing a very knowledgeable and a very decent job for the good people of Kumasi and Ashanti region. He's doing a very fantastic job. As I saw watching and the Boadu man could that position. Not because he doesn't qualify. He qualifies a lot, but doing lobbying skills. And competent enough. That's one thing I like about him, Professor Ade. Obaye, na couple person corrupt no. They said you're more corrupt the former CEO no. But he thought it twice. He said, "Mamitra mi akasabe banglo mu. Na every single benefit to be a minya biano. Mo fabrem mo mi akasabe banglo mu because he was a lecturer at KNUST. So he's still staying there one Kasade Bangalow or Timu Ewo Hodomo, and all the benefits are required as a CEO of Kofanochi Teaching Hospital. That does not mean that he is weak, that does not mean that he is incompetent, but it means he's doing something that is of good benefit to the people. That is leadership. Forestry Commission. Forestry Commission right now. The CEO of Forestry Commission, he is still there. The deputy, NDC. Like this is one of the best ever thing that I have ever experienced. But Yama Amabu Nakwa says, "Oh, come on, football, what the anymore I pass." And then they see here drawing the time and another Kufuor may take you over from John Dramani Mahama. He sacked everybody. He sacked everybody. Whether competent or not, or Pamwobia. Or Pamwobia. And then they come for the best share Honomo. Go to National Communication Authority. The NCA. When they all Honomo, a MPP. Go to ECG. Mia Kasami offer Engineer Samoa. On that's what you want to see here. Go to Ghana Revenue Authority. Go to FDA. Go for the Drugs Authority. These are all institutions. Right now, it is being managed by the NPP and also deputized by the NDC people. Meanwhile, NDC former brave or Honomoa, they are well competent and well qualified enough. Omunya Jumanye. Meboa. There are a lot of NDC gurus. What show more credentials? Not show more qualifications. Not show the way you will see your look, they are more than qualified to occupy any of these positions, but they are still marking time at home because there are NPP people still occupying that space. It does not mean, say something previous, and see occupy one free order because it is a position that is being occupied by the NPP people. They are equally competent, they are equally qualified, but certain pardon the ideology, any ideas enquire, Sandy Pakrono, and somebody who said, Dabi, this is the direction I want to go. A crowd when I'm person fast, but over so share own goes to the air. Dabi, let me my own Armah Buah. Now they say, yeah, walk quiet, yeah, anymore. Now Armah Buah so share own goals. No. That is the politics we are doing in our country. There are a lot of NDC people we are well qualified. Every single qualification. They are still marking time at home. I'm not sure if you say John Dramani Bahama, I'm positions. Meanwhile, there are still MPP people still occupying some positions. They here. Tago, it will interest you to know, say, there are positions more. Government state-owned agencies be hold more. Abandon crying now where cross that state-owned agencies exist. There will be a President Kufuor appointed was still that's what to hold more from that time till now. And yes, I said, I want you. Nipa kono so or execute the juma diligently, dear. The person is free to go. The person is free to do his job. But whereas the person do not conform to the ideology of the sitting government. Naka IGP na care pamono. Naka CDS na care pamono. Naka very sensitive areas, sensitive and romantic areas. That care pamono the heads of institutions every honorable. It is just because the president wants to turn into a certain direction. It is turn into a certain direction there. And your heads na more honorable. And you're not far more. It is about the side the most memorable own goes sabotage to his institutions. Like what happened at the airport. For 8 good years, you had cocaine da. Meboa, another time, you had cocaine baby. For 8 good years, you had cocaine da. But don't remember Mahama buy 3 months, most of them you had cocaine by the oho. Oh yeah, why? What am I know? These are things that we are talking about. There are a lot, over 120, I think about 300 positions or more. Ghana Meteorological Agency. What are all? It is still an MPP person. Meanwhile, there are NDC Kofoa, qualified by certificates, experience, what have you. It is not like we hate the NPP. That is why there is a possible need, sir. Just to report Kodia. Some report whether it is good or bad. Let every single Ghanaian who voted for you know what is in that report. If I only say somebody, I mean, Jenny and time on the top position. I keep saying this. When you were in government, that was a jail. First time. Now you knew, say you want to appeal to the conscience of the Ghanaian people. It's more brave kakra and my second term, and I'm saying some mama so. I'm so pro max, and I'm doing one so. Mwakasa Congress a crab call where Kubase just to amend a certain part of your constitution. Want to be a because of various levels of ahobasobia. Where something that we could position way, where something that we could position way, where something that we could position way, it will be in his comfort zone, feel say, or you're better than somebody. And also put a certain position here, or better would target the other person. What would never have home? During your presidential primaries, what would never have home? Ghanaians will never forget, even if it's a kind of foreign fear, yeah, in the back. Yeah, we do not have short memories. Say God of war refin there, you be kawo. And Ghanaians who voted for you deserve to know every single thing that went into that report. And this hey, I had a better position at it. Because I'm about to about the amount. Not till now. Me nya hu ne entia ulusu about to da. And then the day say me to about ma obi. Simple logic. Say about to about the amount. About to da nko yi. Nasa will say what find out what your key findings. Nasa key findings indicate say ade way A B C D ekoso yesi kojo pon kroba ene Kenofriata during their town hall meetings. Yesi omo preacher Mesa Otabel. Omo kotu Bible quotation Mesa Otabel. And no one of the key factors. If you don't say what brody factor now, omo de Bible no cry no contribute to their defeat. There are a lot of misconceptions or conspiracies about your reports. So do not make it look like God of War control something the no. We are just reports out the command the New Patriotic Party. So there is one thing Ghana for say if the report is good, publish it and let Ghanaians know what is inside the report.
I am ready in Krabia.
That's it.
I am ready.
And it is a political party. You and I, we are stakeholders in that political party.
Why are we even talking about them?
Oh no! I mean, no. Let's forget about them. I mean, that is their decision. But if the report is good, because I am a stakeholder, I have ever voted for the NPP before. So if the report is good, even whether it is good or bad, Mama Ghana for who says, "Munu way, any other papa way na moye."